The rain poured down in torrents, drumming against the rooftops of Nyah city like the urgent beating of 1,000 drums. Lightning slashed across the sky, illuminating the narrow alleyways and crumbling buildings of the city's underbelly. The streets, usually alive with merchants, beggars, and wandering musicians, were now empty, except for one lone figure dashing through the storm. A woman, cloaked in a deep blue wrapper, clutched a small bundle tightly against her chest. Her feet, bare and bleeding, slapped against the wet ground as she ran, her breath coming in desperate gusts. Behind her, the shadows moved. They were coming. She turned a corner sharply, her heart hammering. She had to keep going. She had to protect her child. The bundle in her arms stirred. A soft, sleepy mama escaped from the baby girl nestled against her. The woman's face, taut with fear, softened for a brief moment. "My child," she whispered, her voice trembling. "My precious Nyah." Thunder rumbled overhead, echoing the turmoil in her heart. She could not let them find her daughter. Not after everything she had sacrificed. Ahead, the great stone bridge of Nyah loomed like a sleeping giant. It was a place of refuge for the lost, beggars, orphans, and wanderers gathered beneath its sheltering arches. A man once told her that spirits dwelled in the darkness under the bridge, watching, listening, waiting. Tonight, she prayed they would watch over her child. She ducked under the bridge, her soaked cloak clinging to her as she moved toward a hidden alcove. There, away from prying eyes, she gently laid the baby down on a bundle of dry rags. Her hands trembled as she reached for the string of beads around her neck. They glowed faintly, pulsating with an inner light. These were no ordinary beads. They belonged to him, to the man who had once held her heart, the man who had been taken from her. Jabari. The Leopard King. She carefully placed the glowing necklace around the child's tiny neck. The beads pulsed brighter for a moment, as if recognizing the child's blood. Nyah whimpered, her little hands curling into fists. The woman swallowed the sob rising in her throat. "Forgive me, my love," she whispered, placing a kiss on her daughter's forehead. "Forgive me, my child." Then she rose. Footsteps echoed above. The shadows had found her trail. Taking one last look at her daughter, she turned and disappeared into the storm, leaving the baby girl beneath the bridge of Nyah. Alone. But not forgotten. The storm raged on through the night, but beneath the great stone bridge of Nyah, all was silent except for the soft whimpers of the abandoned child. The flickering glow of the beads around her neck cast strange, dancing shadows against the damp stone walls, as if unseen spirits had gathered to witness the child's fate. It was nearly dawn when Baba Jamba found her. He was an old man, his back bent like a bow that had been strung for too many years, his face lined with the stories of time. His robes were tattered, his feet wrapped in strips of cloth instead of shoes, but his eyes were as sharp as a hawk's, and they missed nothing. He had lived under this bridge for many moons, surviving on the kindness of strangers and the wisdom of the ancestors. He had seen beggars come and go, lost souls searching for shelter, and even the occasional thief hiding from the city guards. But never before had he found a child. And certainly never a child like this. The moment he saw her, he knew. The air around her crackled with something unseen, something powerful. The beads around her tiny neck glowed softly, as if alive. He knelt beside her, his gnarled hands hesitating before touching the child. "Who leaves a child in such a place?" he murmured. "What foolishness is this?" The baby stared, her dark eyes fluttering open. For a long moment, she stared at him, unafraid. Then, to Baba Jamba's astonishment, the wind shifted around them, carrying the scent of something ancient, earth after rain, fire before it burns, the whisper of old gods. The old man sucked in a breath. "This is no ordinary child," he muttered. He had heard of such things before. Stories passed down through generations of children born with power marked by the ancestors, blessed or cursed with gifts beyond understanding. Some said they were chosen by the spirits. Others said they were dangerous. But one thing was certain. This child was important. Carefully, Baba Jamba lifted the girl into his arms. "You have been left in my path, little one," he murmured. "Perhaps it is the will of the spirits." The beats pulsed against his chest as he carried her away from the bridge, unaware that far beyond the city, a warlord with shadowed eyes had just learned of the child's existence. And he was coming for her. Years passed, and the child grew. Nyah, Baba Jamba called her, for it was a name carried by strong women in forgotten times. She had no memory of the mother who had left her or the father she had never met. She knew only the old man who had raised her among the forgotten ones of Nyah city. Life under the bridge was not easy. They lived among beggars and outcasts, scavenging for food, watching the city's rich pass by without a second glance. But Nyah never complained. Because Nyah was not like the others. She could hear things others could not, the rustling whispers of the wind, the quiet hum of the river, the murmured songs of the trees. Animals followed her, stray dogs curling at her feet, birds landing on her shoulders as if she were one of them. And then there was the fire. It started when she was 6. A group of city boys had found her near the market square. They were older, stronger, cruel in the way only children can be. "You think you're special," one of them sneered. "You and your stupid old man?" Another boy snatched at the beads around her neck. "What's this?" "Pretty little stones." He yanked hard. Pain shot through Nyah's neck. She gasped, tears springing to her eyes. And then the air changed. The temperature around them spiked. The wind howled, swirling dust and leaves in a violent spiral. The boys stumbled back, eyes wide. Nyah could feel something surging inside her, something hot and bright. Her hands tingled. Sparks danced at her fingertips. And then, fire. A great burst of flame shot from her hands, scorching the ground before her. The boys screamed and ran, their cries echoing through the marketplace. Nyah stared at her hands, chest heaving. What was happening to her? That night, Baba Jamba sat her down by the river. His old eyes were full of things unsaid. "There is power in your blood, child," he told her. "A power as old as the earth itself." Nyah swallowed hard. "Is it bad?" The old man smiled, but there was sadness in it. "Power is neither good nor bad. It is only the heart that wills it that makes it so." She looked down at her hands. They no longer burned, but she could still feel the fire inside her, waiting. Waiting for what, she did not know. Nyah was 12 when she first heard the voices. They came at night, in the space between waking and sleep. Soft murmurs, like the rustling of wind through leaves. Sometimes she could almost make out the words, ancient and rhythmic, like an old song. One night, she asked Baba Jamba about them. The old man's face grew still. "The ancestors," he said at last. "They are calling to you." Nyah frowned. "Why?" He sighed, poking at the fire before them. "Because you are more than you know, child." It was not the first time he had spoken in riddles, but this time Nyah pressed him. "Tell me the truth, Baba." The old man looked at her for a long moment. Then he reached into his robe and pulled out something wrapped in cloth. Slowly, he unwrapped it, revealing an old, rusted dagger. The handle was carved with the image of a leopard. Nyah's breath caught. "What is that?" "This," Baba Jamba said quietly, "belonged to your father." Silence stretched between them. "My father?" Nyah whispered. "Who was he?" Baba Jamba exhaled. "A king." Far beyond Nyah city, in the shadow of the red cliffs, a figure sat in a darkened chamber, his face hidden in the gloom. A warrior knelt before him, trembling. "My lord, the girl has been found." A low hum filled the chamber, like the purring of a great beast. The warlord leaned forward, his golden eyes glinting like a predator's. "Good," he murmured. "It is time." The hunter had awakened. And he was coming for Nyah. The night was restless. The wind carried whispers from the unseen, rustling through the narrow streets of Nyah city. Baba Jamba sat by the fire, his old bones aching, his mind heavy with the burden of truth. Nyah slept beside him, curled on a mat, the glowing beads around her neck pulsing like a heartbeat. She was no ordinary child. And now that Subari's hunters knew of her, she was no longer safe. Baba Jamba rose, gripping his walking staff. He placed a gentle hand on Nyah's shoulder, shaking her awake. "Child," he said softly. "It is time to leave." Nyah blinked, still caught between dreams and wakefulness. "Leave? Where?" "To find your father." The words sent a shiver through her. Her father. The one she had never met, the one who had left behind only a rusted dagger and a legacy of mystery. She sat up, rubbing her eyes. But a sharp noise cut through the night. Footsteps. Heavy and deliberate. Baba Jamba stiffened. He grabbed a small leather pouch and shoved it into Nyah's hands. "No time to explain. Take this and follow me." Without another word, he pulled her up and led her away from the fire. They moved quickly, staying in the shadows. Behind them, dark figures slipped into the underpass, searching. Zubari's men had arrived. Nyah's heart pounded as she followed Baba Jamba through the winding alleys. The city was still asleep, unaware that something ancient and dangerous was stirring in the darkness. By the time the first light of dawn touched the horizon, they had left Nyah city far behind. And the hunt had begun. They walked for days, crossing vast grasslands, rivers, then thick forests. Baba Jamba said little, his face lined with worry. Nyah, however, felt something changing inside her. The farther they traveled, the stronger the beads around her neck glowed. On the third night, she dreamt of a great leopard with golden eyes. It stood atop a mountain, watching her. Then it spoke, not with words, but with knowing. "Find the mountain, child of the lost king. Find the mountain, and you will find the truth." Nyah awoke with a gasp. The fire had burned low, and Baba Jamba sat watching her. "You had them, didn't you?" he asked. She nodded. "The leopard." The old man smiled faintly. "The spirit of your father's people. The leopard clan." Nyah clutched the beads. "This necklace, it's guiding me, isn't it?" Baba Jamba nodded. "It is more than a memory. It is a key." "A key to what?" Nyah did not yet know. But she would find out. They continued their journey, but danger followed them like a shadow. One night, while crossing the plains of Mbali, Nyah felt the air shift. The wind stilled. The birds fell silent. Something was wrong. Then she saw them. Figures moving through the tall grass. Hunters. Zubari's men had found them. "Run, child!" Baba Jamba shouted. Nyah hesitated, but the old man pushed her forward. "Go. I will find you." She turned and ran, her feet barely touching the earth. The beats pulsed wildly against her chest, as if urging her onward. Behind her, she heard the clash of steel. Baba Jamba was fighting. Then, the world tilted. The ground disappeared beneath her feet. She was falling. And the darkness swallowed her whole. Nyah awoke to the sound of water dripping. She was inside a cavern, deep beneath the earth. Strange symbols were etched into the walls, glowing faintly. A voice echoed in the darkness. You should not be here. Nyah turned sharply. A figure stepped forward, a man, tall and strong, his body painted with ancient markings. His eyes gleamed golden. The same eyes from her dream. Who are you? She whispered. The man studied her. You wear the beads of the leopard clan. Nyah swallowed. They belonged to my father. A long silence. Then the man knelt before her. Then you are Nyah, daughter of Jabari. She gasped. You knew my father. The man nodded. I am Tkano, his brother. And I have waited for you. Far away, in the mountains beyond the great river, a lone warrior stood on a cliff's edge, staring at the rising sun. His face was lined with sorrow, his arms covered in scars. For years, he had searched. For years, he had believed them dead. But now, something had changed. He could feel it in his bones. A whisper. A presence. His daughter was alive. And he would find her. Tkano led Nyah through the underground tunnels, explaining their history. This is the last refuge of the leopard clan, he said. Zubari's men hunted us down, forced us into hiding. Nyah clenched her fists. Zubari, why does he want me? Tkano's expression darkened. Because you are the key to his downfall. Before Nyah could ask more, a sound echoed through the tunnels. A low chuckle. Nyah turned and gasped. A creature stood before them, tall and thin, with skin like shifting shadows. Its grin was too wide, its eyes too bright. A little lost cub, it murmured. How delightful. Tkano cursed. A trickster spirit. Do not listen to its words. But it was too late. The creature snapped its fingers. And the world changed. Nyah found herself standing in a dark forest. The sky was filled with shifting shapes, whispering voices. Shadows. They moved toward her, twisting and writhing. Your power is strong, little one, the trickster's voice purred. But can you control it? Nyah's breath came in gasps. Fire flickered at her fingertips. The shadows attacked. She raised her hands. And the fire exploded. When Nyah awoke, she was back in the tunnels. Tkano watched her carefully. You are more powerful than I thought, he admitted. Nyah sat up, shaking. The trickster. Gone. But he showed us something important. He gestured ahead. Nyah turned and saw it. A great, ruined city lay beyond the tunnel. Overgrown with vines, cracked by time. This, Tkano whispered, was once your father's kingdom. At the same moment, far away, Jabari stepped into the ruined city. He had followed the whispers, the pool of his daughter's blood. And at last, he saw her. Standing at the temple steps. His daughter. Nyah, he whispered. She turned. And their eyes met. Jabari fell to his knees, staring at the child he thought he had lost. Tears streamed down Nyah's face. Are you, my father? She whispered. He reached out, voice shaking. I am. Nyah stepped forward. And for the first time in her life, she felt whole. The ruins of the ancient city stood silent, wrapped in vines and shadow. For years, this place had been forgotten. But tonight, it bore witness to a moment that had been stolen by fate. Jabari knelt before his daughter, his warrior's hands trembling. Nyah, he whispered, his voice rough with years of sorrow. Nyah could not speak. The moment felt too fragile, like a dream that might break if she dared to move. Slowly, she stepped forward, her breath uneven. She had spent her life imagining her father, what he would look like, what he would say. But nothing could have prepared her for this. She reached out, hesitating. Then, finally, her small fingers brushed against his scarred hands. Jabari's arms closed around her, strong and unyielding. A father's embrace. A home she had never known. Tears burned Nyah's eyes, but she did not let them fall. Instead, she pressed her face into his chest, listening to the heartbeat she had thought lost. "You are alive," Jabari murmured. "By the gods. I thought I had lost you and your mother forever." At the mention of her mother, Nyah stiffened. She pulled away, searching his face. "Where is she?" Her voice was barely a whisper. Jabari's expression darkened. He exhaled slowly, his golden eyes burning with sorrow. "Zubari has her." The words struck like a blow to Nyah's chest. The world swayed around her. "How do you know?" she demanded. Jabari's jaw tightened. "Because I have spent years searching. And now, I have found the trail." Nyah clenched her fists, her beads glowing fiercely. Then there was no more doubt. They were going to find her mother. And they were going to end Zubari. Jabari led Nyah and Tano to the edge of the ruined city, where the forest thickened into a wall of twisting trees. "The last time I heard of Zubari, he was seen near the Valley of the Fallen Kings," Jabari said. "That is where we must go." Tano nodded solemnly. "A cursed place. The spirits there do not rest easily." Nyah swallowed. The very name sent a chill down her spine. "But we must go," she said, determination hardening her voice. "If my mother is there, I will not be afraid." Jabari smiled faintly. "You have your mother's fire." As they entered the dense jungle, the night stretched before them, filled with unseen eyes and whispering spirits. The hunt had begun. 2 days into the journey, the jungle grew more dangerous. The trees whispered warnings. The wind carried voices, some familiar, some ancient. Then, one night, as the fire crackled low, Nyah felt it. A presence. Watching. Waiting. She turned sharply, her beads glowing. From the shadows stepped a figure draped in dark robes. His face was hidden, but his voice slithered through the air like a snake. "You seek the valley," the stranger rasped. "But only those who pass the test of the spirits may enter." Jabari's hand went to his sword. "And what is the test?" The figure chuckled. "The girl must face them alone." The fire flickered. The shadows lengthened. Nyah stepped forward. "Then let them come." The spirits rose from the earth. And the test began. The world shifted. The jungle disappeared. Nyah found herself in a vast, empty plain beneath a blood-red sky. A low growl echoed. Then she saw them. Shadows with no faces. Eyes that burned like dying embers. The spirits of warriors long lost to time. "You do not belong here, child of the lost king," one of them hissed. "Turn back, or be swallowed by the past." Nyah's heart pounded, but she did not move. "My mother is in danger," she said. "And I will not live without her." The spirits circled, their whispers growing. "Then prove your worth." The largest shadow lunged, claws reaching. Nyah closed her eyes. And the beads blazed. A roar filled the air. When Nyah opened her eyes, she was no longer alone. A great golden leopard stood beside her, eyes glowing like fire. The spirit of her ancestors. Together, they fought. The battle was fierce, but Nyah did not falter. Every strike, every movement, she could feel the power flowing through her. The spirits tried to consume her, but the leopard spirit protected her, guiding her like a shadow. Then, with one final cry, Nyah unleashed the fire within her. And the spirits vanished. The test was over. Nyah collapsed, breathing heavily. The jungle returned. The robed figure stepped forward, his head bowed. You have passed, he said. The spirits have chosen you. The path to the valley is now open. Jabari and Tano rushed forward, gripping Nyah's shoulders. You did it, Jabari whispered, pride shining in his eyes. But Nyah did not feel victorious. Because now she knew the truth. She was more than a lost child. More than a survivor. She was the last heir of the Leopard clan. And her true battle was only beginning. The Valley of the Fallen Kings was unlike anything Nyah had ever seen. Jagged cliffs loomed overhead, their edges carved with ancient symbols that pulsed with an eerie light. The valley floor was covered in mist, shifting like restless spirits searching for something or someone. Jabari stood at the valley's entrance, his face grim. This place is cursed. The souls of warriors long dead wander here, unable to find peace. Kano nodded. It is said that those who enter without permission will never leave. Nyah clenched her fists. Then we must ask permission. She reached for her glowing bead necklace. It pulsed warmly against her skin. Then the mist began to move. Shadows rose from the ground, taking the form of warriors in ancient armor. Their hollow eyes burned with blue fire. Who disturbs the Valley of the Fallen Kings? One of them rasped. Nyah stepped forward. I am Nyah, daughter of Jabari, heir of the Leopard clan. I seek the truth about my mother. The warrior spirits whispered among themselves. Then one of them stepped forward. His armor was cracked, his sword rusted, but his presence was undeniable. You seek truth, he said. Then truth shall be given. But first, you must survive. The valley trembled. The spirits attacked. Nyah barely had time to react before the first spirit lunged. Its sword sliced through the air, but she leaped back, her instincts sharper than ever. Another spirit came at her. This time, she raised her hands, and her glowing beads flared to life. A wave of golden energy shot forward, sending the spirit reeling. Jabari and Kano fought beside her, their weapons clashing against the spectral warriors. But no matter how many they struck down, more rose in their place. This is a test. Nyah realized. They're not trying to kill us, they want to see if we are worthy. She closed her eyes and focused. The power of her ancestors surged through her veins. She saw them. The fallen kings, watching from beyond the veil. Their judgment was upon her. Then, a voice boomed. Enough. The spirits stopped. The mist cleared. A single warrior stepped forward. His armor was golden, his presence commanding. You have proven your strength, he said. Now, you shall see what you came for. He raised his hand. The valley shifted. And suddenly, Nyah saw her mother. The air shimmered like a mirage. Nyah gasped as an image formed before her. Her mother, bound in chains, inside a dark fortress. She was alive. But barely. Zubari's voice echoed through the vision. You have been hidden from me for too long. Now, your power will belong to me. Nyah's breath caught in her throat. Where is this place? She asked. The golden warrior turned to her. The fortress of the Black Sun. It lies beyond the Great Scar. Jabari's face darkened. That is Zubari's stronghold. Nyah's hands trembled with fury. Then we must go there. We must save her. The warrior nodded. But be warned. The path is treacherous. And you are not yet ready. Nyah looked down at her hands. She had fought spirits. She had unlocked a power she did not fully understand. But the warrior was right. She needed more. She needed training. They left the valley at dawn. Jabari led them deep into the wilderness, to an ancient shrine hidden in the heart of the jungle. This is where warriors of our bloodline once trained, he said. And this is where you will master your gift. For the next days, Nyah trained harder than ever before. She learned to harness the power of her glowing beads, to summon fire, to move like the leopard, to listen to the whispers of the wind. She faced trials, fighting against illusions, battling her own fears, and unlocking the secrets of the ancestors. By the end of the training, she was no longer just a girl. She was a warrior. And she was ready. Meanwhile, in the fortress of the Black Sun, Zuberi stood before a massive, shadowy creature. Its eyes glowed like molten lava. She is coming for her mother, Zuberi said. I want her alive. The creature growled. And what of the father? Zuberi's lips curled into a cruel smile. Kill him. Darkness swirled around them. The final battle was coming.